In Florida, a grand jury released its second interim report on its investigation into potential wrongdoing by COVID shot manufacturers and all of the authorities who promoted the vaccine. It was requested by Governor DeSantis and authorized by the Florida Supreme Court. So the grand jury was tasked with determining whether pharmaceutical manufacturers and their executive officers and other medical associations or organizations participated in criminal activity or wrongdoing in their involvement with the development, approval, or marketing of COVID-19 vaccines. Okay, so here's what they found. First, COVID patients gain natural immunity through infection. Who knew? Oh, that's right, everybody. Everybody knew. But they acted like you were a conspiracy nut job if you talked about it.
Yeah. Everybody that didn't have financial gain at stake knew.
Infection-derived immunity, or natural immunity, isn't anything new. Everybody's always known about it. As noted by the grand jury, the human body acquiring natural protection from harmful antigens via infection is a concept that's existed for thousands of years. Yes. Now, no human had previously been infected with COVID-19 until, 2019, right? Late 2019 in China, and then it spread here in about early 2020. I think the first infection in the United States might have even been in December of 2019. If I remember correctly. I don't know. But it was late 2019 or early 2020. Okay. But there were, like my son, for instance, had, what was the infection that was it? Pig flu? That's a swine flu. Yeah, the swine flu. My son got that in 2010. And so he had some immunity to the SARS virus and didn't get it. So I think some people who got that in 2009 or 2010, whatever it was, had some sort of immunity. But regardless, if you got COVID, then you built up an immunity to it. You had the natural immunity. And everybody knew that. And again, they acted like it was the dumbest thing they'd ever heard if you even brought it up.
You were made to feel stupid.
Yep.
Even though you were right the whole time.
So, number two, the second thing they found after the natural immunity thing was the government experts attacked potential COVID treatments.
Yep.
Like, ivermectin, for instance. While the grand jury noted the difficulty in finding effective treatments for a new virus amid a global outbreak, it lamented how some government officials committed avoidable mistakes when it came to messaging and communication with the American people about potential early treatment options. Among the most notable was the expert class war against hydroxychloroquine, right? Mm-hmm. And, of course, ivermectin. The jury noted how some well-credentialed scientists and clinicians were dissatisfied with the data the Food and Drug Administration used to justify its decision to revoke emergency use authorization of hydroxychloroquine for treating COVID patients. And they chose to prescribe the drug to patients based on the data they were examining. And there was even talk of taking away doctors' medical licenses if they prescribed this stuff.
Yeah.
Either hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. It's horse paste. These quacks are prescribing horse paste. The grand jury said it does not believe it was unreasonable for doctors to include these medications in an early outpatient treatment regimen for COVID-19, given the drug's long history of relatively safe use and the ever-changing nature of the science. And that's for sure. In fact, was it 2015 that ivermectin won a Nobel Prize for medicine? I think it was either 2015 or 2016.
Yeah, right in there. Yep.
So,
yeah, what you've read so far is basically the indictment in Robert Kennedy's book, The Real Anthony Fauci. I mean, this lays out the evil and the insidiousness that occurred here.
That's so good. And this is, third-party agency tasked by the government to look into it, and here's what they came up with, this grand jury. Number 3, expert and media lies put lives at risk. Mm-hmm. Above all, the grand jury highlighted how government health experts and legacy media's efforts to squash debate about the efficacy of drugs like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine created an avoidable scenario in which individuals who felt they were being lied to took matters into their own hands. Some people became so desperate to get this supposed miracle drug, so sure they were being lied to, that they began to resort to doses and formulations of the drug meant for animals, resulting in a number of well-publicized ivermectin overdoses. Okay. I mean, that was maybe part of it, but the other thing was people didn't take it at all who could have been helped by it. Lives could have been saved by it. This was a profound failure of public health messaging. We lay every overdose that occurred at the feet of those who authored this campaign of vilification, according to the grand jury. I mean, it's despicable what happened here, and it's great that DeSantis did this, that he put together a grand jury to indict these idiots.
And being that they're in a state, I guess, I'm just trying to figure out how this would play out. Like, are they ever going to be... Well, we all know the answer.
No.
Keith, come on.
No. You already... Yeah, you know the answer before you even ask the question.
I want to know, like, what's the next step? If you're indicted, do you drag Fauci to a Florida court?
I would like to see that. But do I have any faith that will happen? No.